There are no such things as limits or obstacles, only opportunities. Step into the greatest version of yourself because what you do matters. Shift your narrative. You're listening to Opportunity Makers, where entrepreneurs come to take their purpose-driven business to the next level. Here's your host, Cyndi Padilla.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Opportunity Makers. And I want to take a minute here to go a different direction. We're going to make a little pivot. We're going to spend a little bit of time here just talking about having some thoughts from an opportunity maker's perspective as we approach the end of the year and as we're moving into the next year. And for those who've been following along our Sales Team Ready podcast, this is not duplicate content. This is a different perspective. That is all about sales and scaling. This is about creating opportunities as an exponential, elevated leader and service provider and opportunity maker. Someone who's a game changer. There's certain things we want to be thinking about as we're moving into the next year, as you're aligning your business and your network and the opportunities that you are taking advantage of and creating for others. That there's some thought processes that we want to be addressing. There's just things that we want to be cleaning up, buttoning up, preparing for, moving in. So I'm going to share what I see and what I have gained, and based on, being a very blessed entrepreneur, service provider, somebody who's done some things at some elevated scale and been around an awful lot of people who are doing things at a tremendous pace and a tremendous scale, doing things that are changing the world at scale. And so just giving you my summations of what that all will do. And so you can have some good takeaways, some great nuggets here, some insights, some things to think about, hopefully some ways to think differently. And everything up to this point, is, aside from the first couple of episodes for the Opportunity Makers, has been interviews. And again, I love to do the interviews because I like to feature so many amazing people, and have been blessed. The Opportunity Makers podcast is centered and focused around people that are scaling, people that are exiting companies, people that are acquiring companies, people that are going public, people that have had some exponential opportunities. And the main focus has been so that we can bring you some hope, some encouragement. Know that whatever's going on in the world, in Washington, in the Middle East, in Ukraine, whatever else, as we are approaching the end of 2023 and all the wars and all of the chaos and the craziness and the inflation and, the good, bad, and the ugly, what's happening in the world, this stuff is really affecting the marketplace and the economy. And it impacts how a lot of people think. And we just come across so many people that are doing everything they can to circle the wagons and protect that we're not leaning in to take advantage of all of the opportunity that exists when you are in a sea of challenges and problems and hurdles and obstacles. When the people who are winning, the people who take advantage of life, the people who seize the moments, are the people who see all of this as opportunity. They see those as dots to be connected, to be able to pull into great things that can occur. And so those are the interviews that that we bring in. I don't want to repeat myself too much on all this stuff. Those interviews are important, and I'm going to continue to bring them. I have so many amazing people that have been very blessed financially and strategically in so many ways. I'm going to continue to bring them to you so that you can see just so many different ways to be able to think bigger, differently, more expansive, and be able to narrow the focus and increase the outcomes for all you're able to do. And that will continue to be a theme. But what I'm going to do also is insert more solo episodes, more my thoughts for what is going on, because that is some of the feedback that we're getting. We get people who reach out and say, "Hey, Jim, this is great. I love the interviews, but we want to hear your thoughts about these things." And so I do appreciate that we're getting the feedback and the comments. Say, "Hey, I would love to hear about this. and to hear what you think about this." And so make sure that you're always doing that. Please be sure to rate, review, and subscribe as we're here, because the more you do, the more it gets favored and the more it gets put in front of the right people. And then, the opportunity is just even better. And I love to, if you're appreciating what we're sharing, then I would love to get more of it out to you. And if there's anything specific that you want to hear, a specific challenge that you want to address, and then let me know, and we will address it, or we will bring an expert in who can have a great interview around it. But right now, for these next couple of episodes, what we're going to do is, as we're transitioning through the end of 2023 and into 2024, so no matter where you're listening to this, think about period change, not just year change. We could be going from one quarter to the next, 1 month to the next, one season to the next, one event to the next, or end of 2024 going into 2025. It doesn't matter, wherever it is. As you move through transitions, these are some of the things that I want to encourage you to be thinking about from an opportunity maker's perspective, somebody who's moving and shaking. It's not so much transaction focused, right? In the Sales Team Ready podcast, we talk a lot about strategies and processes and systems and ways to scale your company, to grow and make increased transactions and get more leverage out of what you're doing. From the opportunity maker's perspective, it's the difference with the Sales Team Ready podcast or the Sales Team Ready perspective and approach is, how are we getting you ready to grow your company? How are we getting your company ready to make more sales and serve more people? Whereas from the opportunity maker's perspective, the company is really the product. So how are you leaning in and leveraging your business as the mechanism to solve a problem? Is your business part of something bigger? Are there other companies that fit and acquire into your business? That is there a portfolio opportunity? Is there a network of businesses that you're putting together? Are there things? So basically looking at, instead of there's in the business, on the business, and above the business. And Roland Fraser, the first place I heard that. And in the business is when you are creating the transactions. On the business is how are you dialing in the business to be able to do the transactions? And above the business is, how is your business the transaction? How are you acquiring businesses to support what you're doing? How are you acquiring new revenue streams? How are you building new partnerships and strategic alliances that help grow your business, that add value to the business and to the opportunity to make your business more valuable and viable and viable as a result, because you now have other things that can plug and play in. So that's what that's really the difference in the flavor between the two. I've had people ask me, they're both about exponential thinking, exponential growth, but that's really the big difference is, instead of growing the business, how are you using the business to grow your mission, your vision, your network, your empire? Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit in these next couple of episodes about, what are the trends, right? Here's some things that you want to be thinking about, right? What are the trends that you're seeing in the marketplace for your business or similar businesses? What are you seeing in form of a technology? What's happening in the scalability landscape? How are businesses put together so that they can snap together more functionally, right? That it happens so much more frequently now that people are starting to design a business that is ready made to have somebody else's business bolt on. It's as an opportunity maker, many times we think about mergers and acquisitions in terms of acquiring our constraints, acquiring the things, the businesses out there that can have somebody, rather than spending time, effort, energy to create a solution to a problem. What if you just acquire it, right? And you're acquiring. And I know this is the conversation that you're already having, or at least be thinking about. But as you scale, instead of just what is your company doing, what is the opportunity for your network of companies, your partnership network? Where are the investors and the buyers and the people who could plug into what you're doing and make that go? So the thing is that we want to address here in this episode, specifically in the next couple episodes, is what are the things to be thinking about as you're making those decisions, right? So it's not just how do I continue to grow, but how do I effectively change so that I'm moving closer towards my greater impacts, right? What are the things that I want to accomplish? And is my portfolio of business, is my network of business already structured just to feed that? Or is what's happening inside of my network of businesses, inside of my companies, is it at a place where, because it's I'm putting so much focus on that, it's really keeping me from being able to drive to my next level of growth? Is there something here? Should I now be looking at getting about selling or piecemealing my portfolio, my companies, right? Because a lot of times we think just acquire. And I know I've been caught up in that perspective. It's exciting at times to be like, hey, I'm building an empire here, and let me keep continuing to grow and grab all these opportunities. And as we spent the last couple of years dividing up our company into divisions, and those divisions into entities, and then partnering with other people. So where there's other people fulfilling on our products and services and solutions, that it's easy to get caught up in. Then all of a sudden that becomes the business that you're running, instead of really looking at, maybe it's just time to let go of some of those things, maybe selling them off, or just, or just no longer running them. They're, separating from a partnership, et cetera. It's like, where are you going, and what are the things that are going to cause drag for you? Right. So super quick reminder for you, for those who don't know, Gain the Edge, it's our company. I'm Jim Padilla, my wife, Cyndi, and we spend our time scaling companies. As a transactional company, people hire us to provide sales teams, and then to come in and plug and play as a sales team, or provide sales people for campaigns, events, challenges, launches, and projects. And then in so doing, we also create strategies, systems, processes, offers, anything related to scaling the company, making sure that revenue is happening every day, sales are happening consistently. And so we've been, building a network of solutions and companies that are supporting the service-based entrepreneur in the scaling journey, so that we can bring partners in to be able to solve those problems. So we want to be a one-stop shop. And really leaning into, where are the mergers and acquisitions opportunities that are coming, and where are the portfolio opportunities? Where is it, so that we can be providing greater solutions for people who are really doing things at a bigger level, people who are thinking exponentially, people who are changing the world at scale, and helping other people see that it's not so hard, it is not so far away. And here's the one thing that I do want to make sure you are seeing as well, is that the people that I'm bringing to you, they're all awesome. Every single person in these interviews that we've brought and are going to bring, there's many more that are in the can that are ready to come out as we move into next year. But I'm not discounting anybody's brilliance here. There's a lot of really smart, amazing people, but more than anything, they're driven, and they're goal focused, and their visions are clear, and know what they want. They know who they are. They know who they're wanting to become, and they're laser focused on it. So they're really good at saying no. They're really good at pairing the right opportunities and seeing, is this going to help me, exponentially grow towards that vision? Because the more success you have, the more opportunities that come. Just the way it works. Like, I am a magnet for opportunities. The more things that we do well, the more opportunities that show up. And, I find that the greatest decision making you have is not how you put the right strategy in place, but how do you know what to say no to, right? How do you know what to push away? How do you know what to delay and put on the shelf? So maybe it's not a no, it's just a not right now, but it might fit later down the road. Right. And then who else comes into play to make these things happen? So some of the questions you want to be looking at is, what are the trends that you're seeing in the industry that you're in, or in which industries that you are supporting? And what are you expecting to happen as a result of those trends? Right. Here's a questioning format that I use for a lot of things. And whenever we see something, bump in the road, or an obstacle or something that's not working, and so what are we seeing? What are we doing about it? And what do we expect the outcome to be after we do the thing about it, right? So what are we seeing? What are we doing about it? And what do we expect to be the new result or outcome after we make the change? And so that way you can constantly be evaluating everything that's happening. Is this working the way we want it to? What are we seeing? What do we expect to have? Here's a change that we see that we're going to put into play, and here's the effect of that change that we anticipate happening. And then everything else is starting to build in that direction. So start looking at that for yourself. What trends, what limitations are starting to occur? What things are no longer going to be in play because AI has shifted technology? Something we think about a lot is, because of AI, and we have colleagues and friends that are building of so many AI solutions in the sales and appointment setting and call center environment. And so, how much effort, energy, and resources do we want to be putting into optimizing our call centers and our outbound strategies and technologies, or where do we acquire and or partner with companies that are already starting to do that, so then we can plug and play is like, where does the technology end and the humanity begin, right? So that you always want to be looking at that, because the technology, here's my take on it, and every conversation that I've had is the technology is not here to replace humanity. It is here to enhance humanity. And for some people, it will replace them. And for some industries, it'll be replaced. But there's always a way to see around the corners. The more thought process you put into what is it going to eliminate, and so eliminating, what is it going to create? Right? I have not seen any scenario where something that one problem gets solved that doesn't create a new problem. Every solution comes inherent with it, more problems at a higher level. And so the more you can be forward thinking about that, the more questions you can ask, and the more seeding you can put in place, so you can start seeing, here's what's going to be necessary, and here's how I can play into that. Here's how I acquire it. Here's how I partner with it. Here's how I move through it. Or is it something you're going to sit out? And if you're going to sit out, then, have you thought through what that looks like? Sitting it out means not being able to take advantage of the opportunity, or it means that there's something coming around the corner that will be a culmination of these activities, and you want to plug into that. There's a lot. So I'm not a technology guy. I'm smart, and I understand. I'm a power user, but I'm not a programmer. I don't program stuff. I don't write code. I don't create technology, but I find the ways to be able to be useful and valuable, relevant, and be able to tap into those technologies to be able to build further our companies, our solutions, and our partners. And I'm really good at being able to partner with people who are those people, so that I am valuable to them and have an added resource in the solution. And want you to consistently be thinking about that. Don't just think this isn't for me. Think, how can it be for me? What is necessary? How do I become an ally to this solution? Right? What's going on in the political arena? Right? What's going on in the political arena and in the economy and in your industry? Just keep, be answering those questions. Be thinking about that as we're moving through this. What is going on in Washington, or at the capital of your state, or at the city hall of your city? There's decisions being made at all three of those levels that are affecting you and your business, your economy, how you acquire, how you, with everything from capital gains tax to how you acquire, how you recruit and, to how you recruit and retain people, to how you pay them, to what kind of, everything is moving in regulations on a regular basis. And something that I want to plant a seed for you to be thinking about is, who are the political and media alignments that could be carrying your flag, right? What politician is all for your industry, is all for entrepreneurship, is all for the people that you serve, that you can then get them onto your shows, get them on your podcast, get them into your media environment? What media personalities speak to or promote the things you do? Are there business journalists? Are there industry related media personnel that are on your side, that are waving your flag, that would love to be able to write more about what you're doing? And how are you aligning with them as partners, so that you can then bring content to them and through them, so that when you're ready to, when you're doing a PR campaign, these people are already on your side, already in your camp, already waving your flag. Right. So you want to think about that. What's going to happen in 2024? Start planning those allies and those alignments now, so that you're poised and ready for whatever acquisitions or launches, product launches, and knowledge bases that you're going to be putting out in the coming years. So don't wait till then to start scrambling for what PR is, is out there and available and necessary. Start thinking about right now who those people are, and start getting them in your camp, and start working through those alliances. And you'd be stunned at how many people did you can bend your ear again, especially whether you just go to the local city hall, or your governor's capital, in your state, or at the White House. There are a lot of people who, they just need a clear vision. They need to be clearly shown and told what's at stake if they have this particular solution bending in their direction, and what does it mean to their communities that they support and the voters in those communities, and the tax base in those communities, the revenue. What are those things? It's your job as the entrepreneur. It's your job as the opportunity maker, as the person who is the gatekeeper, the vision caster for the mission that you are a part of. It's your job, and solely yours, to ensure that the message is being carried out, that it's being put in front of the right people, that it's being received the right way, and that it's clear that what you bring to it, so they know why they want to align themselves with you and in your camp, right? So I would love to have a conversation with you, and whatever thoughts you're having about this, anything you're thinking about in the exponential stage, you're looking about acquiring anything here, are you looking for some exponential opportunities that can really materialize for you in this next year? I'd love to brainstorm around any of that with you and get you on the podcast and we'll talk about it, right? But here's a couple of things we're going to talk about in the next couple of episodes that come up here as we're moving through the end of the year and the end of the period into the next one. Is going to be, we're going to talk about scalability, right? What are the things that what are the things that are going to be easier to scale than they have been? Innovation, right? What are the pieces of, what are the things that you're going to be innovating versus not just technology, but in strategies and systems and processes? There's a lot of change that's coming through, that's on the horizon as we move into 2024. Market penetration. Where are you increasing your presence and in the market? Where are you able to penetrate greater because of the technology, because of the way your network, your businesses are aligned? And then talent acquisition and development. What kind of talent is available right now that hasn't been? What kind of talent is not a good idea to be moving with, and what do you need to be doing to be thinking about having that be a ready-made solution for you? And then, of course, capital investment. Where are your capital resources? Who are the people that are ready to buy into what you're doing? And where are the places that you need to be thinking about being ready to be able to invest in solutions and opportunities as they occur? And then, the last couple of pieces that are planned to talk about as of this moment is, customer focus, right? What is the customer base that you best serve, not just from company to company perspective, but the way that we determine an ideal buyer, or what we call a qualified book deployment in a lot of our world, is like, how do you find the buying network, the buyers, the networks of buyers, that are designed to buy all of the things you sell in all of your companies, right? So if you're structuring your business networks that way, your portfolio companies that way, which, again, I know I'm preaching to the choir. A lot of you are already thinking this way, but it's not just acquiring those businesses. What are you doing to acquire businesses that can put people on a conveyor belt of solutions, right? They move from one to the next, and there's so much cross-pollination within those companies that it just makes sense for people to be served and supported in your world. And then once they do, they recognize your brand, your feel, your flavor, and they decide that they just want to park here and camp here and get their solutions met with you, sitting at the table with you, sitting inside of your network and saying, oh, I've got this and I've got this and I've got this. I can get all the things that I want done. And there's some great examples of that. I'm going to share a couple in the next episode that we're doing. But again, I know you're already thinking about a lot of this stuff. I just want to see what I can do to help shake some things up and plant some different thoughts in your mind. Right. So the next is, of course, again, operational efficiency. What streamlined processes do we need to be putting in place? What things, I have seen a trend in people, in companies that are optimizing things that maybe you should just be eliminating, right? Why are we optimizing things that right now are just extra steps, extra cost, extra resource, simply because that's how we've always been doing it. And I think there's big opportunities to be gained for people who can build solutions that become the glue between multiple companies. Like I said, where do you build an opportunity that has an open, like Legos? If you're building an opportunity that has a place for somebody else to literally plug their business right into yours, and then or something that you can acquire and plug in right away. There's so much more of that I'm starting to see on the landscape. And Those are open discussions that I want to share. A lot of this is just brainstorming and brainstorming with you, and other things I'm sharing specific examples of what I'm seeing, and I'd love to hear what you're seeing as well. Right. And then, of course, risk management. We got to be thinking about risk management consistently as we're moving forward, because everybody's got different tolerance, of course, for risk. And then we got to be thinking about what do we do? What can we do to mitigate the downside, right, of all the things that we're doing, because there's so many good opportunities out there. And I do find that the people who are able to take advantage of the opportunities that show while mitigating the risk are the people who are going to win. And it doesn't mean mitigating all the risk. It means mitigating the immediate risk that will buy you some time and help you see around some corners until you can start getting the actual growth and the readiness that you are seeing in the other areas, so that you can continue to mitigate risk. And right now, I think we've had a higher risk tolerance than has ever been experienced in the business world before, because things change so fast. So there's things where you maybe would not invest in a company or take on an opportunity because a decade from now might not be the right thing. Whereas right now, maybe you acquire something for the short term, right? Maybe you have a short-term acquisition strategy that will get you through the next season while you're building something different or working to acquire a more longer-term solution. So it's just, man, I get so excited about it because there's so much opportunity, there's so many things going on. And every conversation I have with other powerful business leaders and people that are just changing the world and kicking ass and taking names, it's just, I'm stunned and amazed at all of the ideas and all of the opportunities that just keep coming. And more than anything, if nothing else happens here besides you getting excited about the possibilities, just know that these are not for the big guys. This is how you become the big guys, right? You can acquire your way to exponential growth. You don't have to get there and then start buying companies. There's a lot of ways to look at how can you have pieces of other companies? How can you have a powerful solution that isn't just reliant upon the things you do inside of your business to be able to feed you, right? How many ways can you be diverse and powerful and of huge service, in demand and humble and desirable and problem solving, man? Just there's so every one of you is a great person with a great opportunity. There's nothing, no matter where you are sitting, if you're within earshot or watching this podcast, there is opportunities. All you got to do is reach out and touch one. And hopefully we'll give you some more inspiration to do so. And between, these with these couple of episodes that we're going to be rolling into, what things should you be thinking about? What things can be doing to be looking around corners, so that you can set yourself up to be able to win in a down market, in an interesting economy where there's a lot of fear, a lot of speculation, and and set yourself up to win. And we're happy and honored to be part of that journey with you. So make sure you check out the show notes. There's some resources and ways to connect with me. There's also, again, more information about our Sales Team Ready podcast and other ventures that we have coming up. But more than anything, I thank you for being here along with us on this ride. Thanks for being part of our allowing us to be part of your success team. And I'm really humbled by all the opportunity that exists and for what is possible for you. So go out and make a big difference, make a lot of money, change a lot of lives, and let's go make them things happen.
Thanks for joining us on this week's episode of Opportunity Makers. Head on over to gaintheedgenow.com to connect with Jim and his team. And remember, there's no such thing as limits or obstacles, only opportunities.